Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz. Yet again, the start of a new week, and we're bringing you a very exclusive of Sports Extra once again. We've been talking about so many personalities over the past week as well, bringing them to you here on this platform as well, recognizing their achievements and also a bit of history about them as well. Tonight, I've been joined with yet another superstar for Pakistan. He's achieved everything in terms of on the national level and international level as well. So much credit to his name in reviving that particular sport as well. I won't be naming him because we've got a great profile package courtesy of our team here at Sports Extra as well. We're going to watch that, and that's how you will know who that personality is, and then I will be introducing him on this platform of Sports Extra. So let's just take a look at this package and then come back.
In the world of squash, only one king has reigned supreme, and that is Pakistan. Pakistan dominated squash like no other country in the world, the domination lasting for the best part of 5 decades. It reached its peak in 1980s and 1990s during the reigns of Jahangir Khan and Jansher Khan. Between 1950 and 1997, Pakistan amazed over 30 British Open titles, 14 World Open titles, and a lot more PSA professional titles. But after this glorious era came a dry patch of Pakistan squash, but these grey clouds were soon lifted once a young budding sensation named Farhan Mehboob appeared onto the scene. Farhan started dominating the scene from a very young age, winning countless junior titles both on the national and international stages. After turning pro in 2002, Farhan was a treat to watch, and with his career best ranking of 16 in the world, it seemed as Pakistan's glorious day of squash have returned once again. Since then, Farhan has won numerous titles and has represented Pakistan in many competitions around the world. Farhan has not only been a great ambassador for Pakistan, but is also passing on the greatness to young talent, as he is always open for advice and training to his young counterparts. Farhan is certainly one of the greatest squash players in the modern era.
There you have it, in conversation tonight with Farhan Mehboob, and I think the tagline is one of the greatest squash players of the modern era. Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Great to have you once again. I understand that things have been difficult, testing times of course, a lot to be said, but what a fantastic career you've been having so far. I mean, we talk about something that was a responsibility for you, coming from a squash family yourself, that you had so many names that you wanted to match the level of brilliance they had. But definitely you came in a time when we saw Pakistan squash was struggling a lot.
Of course, because in the past we have a lot of tough time, especially in my family, because we are not that much rich families. So we struggling a lot. I used to be talk with my father a lot because of that squash family, how we start. But he told me like the stories of our squash families, like my uncle, my elder uncle, like Mehbullah Khan, the first squash of our family, squash player. So I know my nana and my dada, like both of they are they're working from the Air Force, like we call him like PN, and my dada is working from the army. We call him like it's just a normal sipai. So we face a lot of hard time, and we struggling a lot because we have nothing that time to buy any rackets or balls or shoes, something like that, because we
and squash is very expensive, isn't it?
Very expensive game, because my uncle told me like many times, like they have to stitch their shoes, and they have stitched the ball, and they're playing with the broken ball and broken shoes, like. So of course, because because you know about that Navakali, the village of Peshawar, a very small Kali. You belong like 7 world champions belong in same village. So my dad used to play squash, a very good squash player, but he stopped because of financial problems, because of traveling, because of equipment. So he worked with my uncle Jansher Mamu, and he traveling with a lot with my Mamu, like 15 years. And he spent a lot of time with him because my uncle is Jansher have a lot of talent to become a world champion. So it's a good start for us, because my elder uncle Mehbullah Khan is a former world number 2 for 11 years. It's a record also. And then I saw Jansher, the great Jahangir Khan, the great Jansher Khan, Qamar Zaman. There's a lot of players, you know. So we face a lot of things, but we never give up. Because I have a lot of, you know.
But in terms of all of this, you were seeing these hardships. Your father, Mehboob Khan, obviously has a lot of credit in being with you at the same time as well. When did you decide that you wanted to play squash? Because you could have done so many other sports, so many other things in life.
I didn't watch that legends, you know, like till that Jahangir Khan. I watched my uncle Jansher Khan, especially in after 1996 or 1997, and his career is going a little bit down because it's my uncle last age. So I saw him last when he won the World Open, I think in 1997. So I watched TV, especially in PTV, because at that time we have only one channel,
PTV,
and everyone watched PTV and PTV. So I watched my uncle Jansher on PTV. There's a live match between Jansher and I don't know, Rodney Isles from Australia. So he beat Rodney Isles like 4 game, I think 3-1, and then when he back to his own country, and I saw the respect of my uncle, like the government, the governor, the chief minister, the Air Force chief,
the people even,
especially in my village people, because they didn't understand squash too much, but they know about Jansher. Like they just think like Jansher won the title. Jansher, he's become a world champion. So he is very famous because of the 80s and 90s. So when I saw respect when people give to Jansher, and especially when I saw on my eyes, you know, like when I stand on the front of my uncle on airport, like the small airport in Peshawar. So
people had come to receive
and that, you know, like flowers, and they give money to Jansher. Like I don't know how much they give money to Jansher, but they give money. But they are poor people, but they give money because they give love. So I realized like this is we call as national hero. This is we call a pure respect. So I realized. So I become a.
So you wanted to do that as well. Obviously, you turned pro in 2002. 2002 and 3. But before that, you were playing a lot of squash already in terms of the junior levels and whatever you were playing. So at the start, did you find it to be very difficult? Because obviously squash, you have to be very physically fit to play this game.
I just said like when I start squash, because it's a very tough for me because I was starting my squash, so I was left-handed, not left-handed, like right-handed. So some of the guys like on schools, they push me, and my hand is like broke, you know. So after 2 years, I start with the other hand, and then I start slowly, but still we have that much problems. Like we didn't afford anything. We didn't afford anything because of, you know, like my father is working for the Air Force, and he have a very less salary to spend with me and my 3 brothers schoolings and other equipment, like you know about the electric bills. You're always thinking about the grocery and things like.
You had to manage a whole family.
So I used to be play with my uncle, and he gave me one racket, like broken racket. So I used to be play with this racket like for the 6-8 years, and broken shoes, and I walked every day from my home to squash like 1 kilometer and 1 kilometer.
2 kilometers
2 kilometers daily. Like I didn't see like there's winter or summer, raining or whatever the weather is called. So it's a very hard time.
You know, I must admit this fact. I've known Farhan for a bit of a time now. He's a brother to me as well. He's a very, very dear brother, and I did not know until now that he broke his hand, and that's why he had to change his hand for playing the game as well. So you know, these are special things that we're getting to hear on this platform as well. And definitely with so much of financial constraints, like you said, broken rackets, trying to play with them. Once you started winning and getting recognition on the international level, then definitely things changed.
Well, definitely, like people told me, like Farhan, maybe you are a very rich person, you know, you have everything like that. But I just
still now they think you're very rich.
They're still thinking like I'm a very rich person, but still I just said like Alhamdulillah, Allah give me a little bit, but it's halal. It's not haram. It's halal because of my hard work and you know, my dignity for my squash, you know.
And the efforts of your family and your father especially.
Yeah, because my father is like he pushed me every day, like my mom pushed me every day. No, you have to play squash, you have to play squash, you have to go school, you have to play squash, because I have no friends that time and I have no friends nowadays. Because of this,
I thought,
squash.
you know, I thought I was your friend.
No, you are my brother. We are not friends. Friend is not, so you are my brother.
Yeah,
that's why I'm calling you are my brother.
2002 and 3 turning pro, and once you started playing a lot of international squash, we know that was an era where Pakistan squash actually went into a dark phase. A decline came after the legends that we had. Somebody had to take that responsibility of getting that respect for Pakistan back. You did it with pride. Of course, you've been a great ambassador for Pakistan, mashallah. How was the feeling when you represented Pakistan on an international level?
Oh, I feel very proud because of my country, because my country is first everywhere I go to place for my country. So I just said like my country is first and then I second, you know, because I love my country a lot, because whatever I am nowadays, whatever Farhan is, so it's because of Pakistan. Because definitely. Pakistani people are giving me so much love, so much respect, and this country are giving me so much respect. So I'm very proud to be play with for my country everywhere.
Which was the first international tour that you took?
My first international tour, it's Scottish Junior, where we going with a big group like 16 boys and 8 girls with the coach of. My coach was at that time, it's Rahmat Khan, is a great coach of Jahangir Khan as well. So yeah, I won Scottish Junior and then I won British Junior under 15. This was my first tour and I won 2 gold medals.
2 gold medals, and that is from where the career started, and that's why we say that you know, this was in that package as well, that immediately as Farhan came onto the scene, he started winning, and that really showed people that he is a talent to watch out for, and the world started recognizing it as well at the same time. That competition where you won 2 gold medals had some really, really good squash players, and it was mentioned in a lot of newspapers and everywhere else as well that Farhan was competing with one of the best in the world.
Of course, I was so happy because when I won the British Junior at that time in 2003, so I feel like crazy, you know, like I laugh every time, you know, like, and I don't feel to go back to my home, you know. I watch trophy and sleep. I watch trophy and sleep because of, you know, like people are crazy there, and especially Egyptians and there's English and Americans, Australian, French people. There's how come this Pakistani come and won the title? I don't know, like after 12 years. So everyone like, watch me. Who are you? Who are you? Like, if they know I'm a nephew of world champion Jahangir Khan, the great Jahangir Khan, just, oh my God, would definitely won. Would definitely won because he's belong from the legend family, you know. So I feel very proud to be a Pakistani when I saw my flag.
It was a very tough competition because on that international stage there was you can say a different level of squash being played. People had more facilities in those countries, better courts, better facilities in terms of rackets, balls and training, and there was this young guy called Farhan Mehboob from Pakistan who was just going with basic training.
This is, we call, still I said this because of no doubt I train with in PF, under the PF Academy, because of PF Academy they give us a lot of things, rackets, facilities, especially diet. Because we used to be training in the morning session, then after the training they gave us a diet and they gave us rackets, shoes, everything. Because of, I won this title because of PF Academy, because PF Academy are giving me a lot, and I want to say that the name of the guy of behind of this title, it's Parvez Syed Mir Saab, the Wing Commander, because they give us, he trained a lot, and he's supporting a lot, you know, because
recognize that
talent. A lot.
Yeah,
because he spent like he takes 16 guys from the normal families and they train and they send to the British Junior
and make them international material. And that's very important, I think, at this stage, that we recognize the services of Pakistan Air Force and the Pakistan Squash Federation at that time in synergy, because if we look at the times, because we mentioned that there was a dark time for Pakistan in terms of squash, but as soon as Pakistan Air Force took the responsibility of ensuring that squash returns to its glorious days, things changed. And I think at this stage as well, we do recognize the services of the current Senior Vice President of Pakistan Squash Federation, Air Vice Marshal Ahmed Masood as well at the same time, and his team obviously that have been instrumental in ensuring that squash stays at the level where Pakistan keeps on achieving these things. It was very important, like you mentioned, that Pakistan Air Force realized that squash needs an organization to revive it, and they took that responsibility. Once you won those 2 medals in that first championship of yours, you came back. Did you then realize that now your training has to be different? Now you have to come up to a new level because you've started winning.
Oh, definitely, because of nowadays there's totally change. Everyone is being nowadays very smart, because they have a new technology, new training sessions. They watch player and they read. They watch player and they record.
Proper
because
videos.
In Pakistan, we didn't record the match, we didn't read, and we didn't watch the player. That if I play with you, so I definitely watch your match, and I put some weakness, and then I used to when I play with you in the next match. So Pakistan nowadays, the PS Academy, they give their best, to with us, like a training days, but we need to be improve more, because now when I saw the international players nowadays, because they day by day they're going so high. They're so high, because when I saw them like on the matches, their playing skills are very good. No doubt we have a lot of skills, but we have to work.
But you mentioned a very important factor that some of us don't realize, and that is use of technology. And these countries like Egypt, England and everybody else are using so much of technology in their games now.
Like you can say, like if they come here into Pakistan, because of if you saw him Egyptian players, they have a coaches, they have a managers, they have a physios, they have everything. But when we traveling, we have a coach or just manager.
And I still remember on one of my programs you said that I'm my trainer, I'm my massage therapist, and I'm everything.
Yeah, because if you play hard match, then what will you do?
Yeah, your muscles are stiff. Yeah.
And then you play 2 matches, then you will be finished.
So that's why you had to.
But definitely you will lose.
But definitely, I think that's a very, very valid point that Farhan has mentioned about all of this. Now, like we keep on mentioning that Pakistan squash has a complete history. Going back decades now, since when it started and all of these things started coming up. And Farhan is definitely a very important part of this history as well, winning a lot of national and international titles as well. We've got a great package on the history of Pakistan squash as well. So let's just take a look at that package and then come back.
Although hockey is the national game of Pakistan and cricket is the most popular one, the sport in which Pakistan has achieved most success is squash. Pakistan dominated squash like no other country in the world can, the domination lasting for the best part of 5 decades. It reached its peak in 1980s and 1990s. During the region of renowned player Jansher Khan and Jahangir Khan, between 1950 and 1997, Pakistan amazed over 30 British Open titles, 14 World Open titles and a lot more PSA Professional titles. Jansher won the World Open titles in 1987 by beating Australia's Chris Dittmer in the final. From 1981 to 1986, Jahangir Khan was unbeaten and during that time won 555 consecutive matches, the longest winning streak by an athlete, the top-level professional sport as recorded by the world records. Hashim Khan was the first Pakistani to dominate this sport, having been squash coach in the British Army when Pakistan gained independence. He joined as coach for the Pakistan Air Force. Pakistan has numerous training centers around the country, and Pakistanis continue to be hopeful, once again take center stage in the world of professional squash.
Well, there you have it, courtesy theme of Sports Extra. What a great history Pakistan has enjoyed in terms of squash. Career best ranking of number 16 in the world. Tell us about that journey.
It's a very it's a
Very long journey.
very long journey and very dark journey, because of for that ranking, like if you're reaching, so you have to improve a lot. You have to perform a lot. Because I remember me and my cousin Amir Atlas, like we playing a lot of good matches, like big matches, like more than 50K, $1,000 US, because we didn't play like 20,000, 30,000 because of our ranking. If you're playing big matches and you perform a lot and you give best, so will definitely your ranking going to be higher.
And the thing with the rankings is that we understand that you have to play continuously. You cannot take a break, but otherwise your rankings go down.
Oh, definitely you can play like in year you can play 12 matches, 12 matches, but best matches. So you have to play each matches like if I were still now world number 16, if I'm not now, so I play 50,000. So I definitely play on 50K like semi-final and final. So after this maybe I can improve my ranking.
And we're talking about Amir. We understand Amir has been very close to you, and you've obviously shared a lot of memories with him as well. And we've been very lucky to be joined with the great Amir Atlas himself on telephone line with us as well. Amir, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sports Extra.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum, Ji.
Thank you so much for joining us. Amir, what can you tell us about this very fine young man we have with us, Farhan Mehboob, who's talked a lot of good things about you and him practicing and playing together, sharing a career?
Well, he's a very nice player and a very gentleman. He is on and off court a very good person and very talented, and he has brought a lot of love to this country. We have traveled around 9 to 10 years, and we were sharing a room together, and we had a very good time. We were helping each other, and that was very helpful for both of us.
Definitely. Because Amir, I keep on mentioning this fact that squash has changed over the years. You yourself are now witnessing the evolution of squash. How do you see the use of technology that we're seeing in many other countries?
Well, that's a problem here in our country. Actually, we are training and we are using old technology, which is not useful nowadays. We have to have a scientific trainers here. We have to have good physios and plus a big sponsorship, which is very, very, very helpful for the players here nowadays. And we have a lot of talented players like Farhan Mehboob. He's an active squash player nowadays, and he's still doing very well. I think nobody beated him, I think, from last 7 to 8 years. So I would like to request Pakistan Squash Federation to sponsor him properly and arrange a scientific training program for him. He's the one who can bring our lost laurels to the country. And again, I would like to request the Pakistan Squash Federation to sponsor him properly if they want to achieve anything in the future.
Definitely, inshallah. Amir, thank you so much for joining us. Lots of prayers for you and of course your family at the same time as well. Scientific trainer, that's what Amir is mentioning, and you've been his roommate as well, so he understands the importance. But of course, this is a very integral part that we have to understand, that at one point or the other, squash is an individual sport. We know in cricket you've got a team of 11 players, in football you've got a team. Squash is something else, and it's unfortunate that in Pakistan we see so much hype, so much sponsorship, so much money being poured into cricket. But when it comes to these individual sports, especially squash, and we know the struggle because me and you have been talking about this a lot, that there are not many people out there who understand the importance of sponsoring a squash player.
That's a big problem, I think, because I said this many times because of different in channels, different in talk shows. So this is a big problem for, not for only me, because of other players as well, like the junior players and the other senior players, like they still facing that sponsors problems, because if you not give performance, that's okay. If you have no sponsor, that's okay. But if you
giving
performance, it's not okay for, because how you perform, how you struggle, like how you traveling a lot, you know, because if you give perform, you can spend your own money like maybe 6 months, 1 year, and then what can you do after
and the fact is that you're not a businessman, you're not a doctor, you don't have any such professional degree, but you're a sportsman. So the only thing you know is squash, and that has to be earning for your life.
That's what I say. Like I'm saying, like we are a full-time squash player now, so we playing for this country, and you know we need sponsor because of. If we need sponsor, if we get sponsor, because so maybe we can play more matches. So maybe the players are happy and they give performances. You know, why are the players in the past like they leaving squash because of sponsors? Because they didn't take any you know, risk on his life. You know, they going abroad and they now they start coaching there, and they get good money from there. Financially secure now. Because they secure their family as well, they secure their life as well. So now they are much satisfied and they are happy. But we are now still struggles, you know, and we fight. If we lose in the first round, so we'll definitely think about it, you know.
Yeah, and this is why Farhan says that he doesn't break rackets anymore, because they're very expensive. They're very, very expensive.
I don't have a lot of money, you know, because I don't want to spend like 15,000 rupees
on a racket that you just broke, definitely. So that's the cost of it, and I think it's very, very unfortunate. We keep on highlighting this on the platform of Sports Extra again and again, that, you know, there's got to be more sponsorship for these games as well, especially for guys like Farhan, who can definitely get so much for Pakistan from the international circuit. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's a great investment for Pakistan. And we keep on talking about this a lot, but throughout your career, that has spanned many years, you have faced injuries a lot as well. Even recently, in the last couple of years, we saw that. How has that struggle been through injury?
First, it's a part of like life. It's a part of game. We are fighters now, because if you take injuries easy, so we call him player. You know, like he's a true player. You know, if we crying, so maybe we call him like he's a weak player or he's a girl. So definitely, I remember my growing injury with the past. Like I spent 2 years, and when I saw other players like they winning, they playing, I literally crying a lot because of, you know, as being player.
Yeah, the depression.
You know, it's not about like they winning. It's about like why I'm not playing. So when I cover my injuries, so I start squash and I start winning, and then, you know, my mental strong is now day by day it's much stronger, you know. So it's a very hard time for about if you get injured. So I face a lot of injuries, and I don't talk about, because that is very a dark days for me.
Yeah, depression.
Very depression days. You know, when I face that days, like I go so much deep, you know, in my life.
So let's not talk about it more, because we like Farhan being happy as well. But definitely a struggle that he has come out of. Coronavirus, COVID-19 has probably eliminated all kinds of sport. How has this affected you or your training so far? What are you doing? That's very important in these times. Have you been able to practice as you were before?
Well, definitely, squash is closed. Everything is closed. So nowadays, I just training a lot in my home. Like, I start training like in the morning session and then evening session, but in the night as well, like midnight, like
3 times.
3 times, like midnight. My timing is very awkward, like 2 p.m., 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. And then after I pray. So one of my cousins or maybe our friends called me like, Farhan, what you do? I said, training. Like 2 a.m. I said, what can I do? Training is very good, because for your immunity system and your health as well. So yeah, I love because of but the coronavirus it must, you know.
Yeah, but I see you're getting slim, so you need to eat as well.
No, I eat a lot, but healthy diet, you know, because I didn't use that's we call him a ghee, oil, and that's fast food and drinks, because I stopped these things like past 8 months. Before I was
It was
drinking
eating everything.
you know.
That was
But nowadays I stopped eating like rice,
yeah.
and rice is my weakness. But I stopped
How are you
eating
alive
rice.
not eating rice? I cannot live without rice.
But I stopped eating rice like 3 months, 3 or 4 months, because of biryani is my one of my favorite thing, you know.
Well, I think for everyone it is, and he keeps on mentioning this. I'm thinking of having biryani.
But I take 2 bites, you know.
Just 2 bites.
Yes,
Are you
for
sure?
my, you know,
for cravings.
cravings, you know.
It's very tough mentally, Farhan. If he just takes 2 bites, he's just very mentally tough. Finally, I must ask you towards the close of the program, what are your plans for the future at the same time as well? And you know, before we do that, let's just show you some of the training routines that Farhan has been going through as well, because these are very tough. There you see, that's your treadmill routine. How much do you run?
I run like 40 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in afternoon, and then 50 minutes or 1 hour on midnight. But I have to run 1 hour, and then I have to train like push-ups, like set-ups, with different kind of exercise. So it's 40 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour, 40 minutes.
So do you take any breaks in that 1 hour run?
No.
Continuous
No,
1 hour?
continue. But I'm not running like hard running because of
a brisk walk.
In my home, there's not that much space I have, but so I have to run slow, and then I have to jumping jacks like, and I have to start exercises, push-ups. So I drink like 4 bottles of water, and then 1 hour 40 minutes. So I take water with me all the time, like 4 bottles of water.
So I'm thinking of hiring Farhan as my trainer now. You know, I have to get a bit physically fit, and I think I have to follow your routine now. So
I'm a very strict trainer. Because nowadays there's a much trainers, but they only talk. I'm not only.
You're practically very
I'm
strict.
practically very strict.
But I'm telling you, I
can
want.
see me, yeah.
I wish I was that thin. Maybe you can help me get that thin.
Why not?
But you know, towards the close now, what's the future for Farhan Mehboob right now?
For future, I mentioned one thing like nowadays that's Anila Khwaja. It's supporting me a lot. The game plan supporting me a lot. So my future now is in my game plan hands and Anila Khwaja hands. So they have to. I know I trust him a lot because they have whatever they think about me. They think for me as better, you know, for me. So my future is now I have to train, and I'm not stop my training a lot because, and I have to pray a lot to Allah that
and keep on playing.
Keep on playing and save our people to coronavirus.
Inshallah.
And well, definitely, inshallah, I will play for my country and till my last breath.
Inshallah, inshallah. We hope, because you're getting younger with every passing day. We see that, mashallah. But a lot of prayers for you, a lot of support for you.
I play junior again. You
know? Under 19.
Under 19.
But lots of prayers for you, lot of support for you. You know, you can always count on us for your support. And we definitely hope that the future has some great things in store. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'm very happy to, whenever come here, and especially in this show, and I feel so energetic, you know, and I feel so positive, and this show is amazing. And you guys are true love, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. It's your own show, definitely. Thank you so much for joining us. That was the very legendary Farhan Mehboob. I keep on saying this, one of the greatest squash players of the modern era. And one thing we all need to do is definitely keep on supporting Farhan through whatever platforms or whatever resources we can. But at the same time, I think different entities in Pakistan need to realize that sports, especially squash, definitely need their support in terms of financial and logistical resources as well. And that's, you know, how Pakistan can keep on achieving those glorious days once again. We're going to say goodbye. Stay home, stay safe. It's goodbye for now.